What's good, everybody? Another day, another Genshin content creator coming out with some insane takes and commentary. And today we're gonna be reacting to Glaive Kyo. Every Glaive Kyo video is a banger video, as we know. So I'm excited to see what he has in store today. And so we see the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Zajef. Yes, the Genshin theory crowd. I gotta say, he looks better with a haircut and shave. I'll be real, he looks a lot better. Anyway, what does the bro have to say about Gacha? Let's have a look.
Being like, yeah, but then it would be too easy. But like, just make the enemies tankier accordingly. If allowing multiple characters means you're gonna end up doing like 5 times more damage in co-op, then make the enemies 5 times tankier, and that's fixed.
Huh?
So one of the biggest Genshin defenders, Zajef77, just dropped a video titled, "Do you think it's worth it going back to Genshin?" Which, first of all, is already a hilarious premise, because the fact that we're even having this conversation tells you something, right? Anyways, the video itself, Zajef is responding to a viewer who basically asked, now that you've played Wuthering Waves, do you think it's worth it returning to Genshin?
Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no!
Oh, hell no! I'll be honest, I uninstalled Genshin Impact after 5.1. Yeah, I understood. I got halfway through 5.0 Natlan. I got fucking bored, and then I couldn't be bothered going back. I didn't get Kinich because I thought it was kind of cool, but I missed the 50-50, so then I uninstalled the game. This is the first time that I haven't actually pulled for an Archon too. But yeah, cringe, wob wob.
I have to say, if someone came to me with that question, my response would be simple. If you want to subject yourself to 10 hours of mental torture in a story quest that somehow manages to be both overwritten and painfully slow, who am I to stop you? If you enjoy watching your stamina bar deplete while running in a straight line out of combat, hey, go off. And if you like Venti mocking you, wouldn't gliding be faster? Then by all means, be my guest. Meanwhile, in Wuthering Waves, you can literally fly, but sure, let's pretend that these games are on the same...
Flying full free, by the way. No kind of gacha you have to pull. Flying full free.
Level when it comes
Kuro, more like quality of life. Wait, Kuro games, more like quality of life games. You know what I mean?
to movement and exploration.
They're both gacha games.
Wait, I like how he included Lumi. Wait, I like how right here he included Lumi because we all know why. We all know why. That hamster got some cheeks. That hamster got some insane cheeks.
They're both gacha games with much slower power creep than other gachas.
Oh.
First of all, Zajef starts off by talking about...
Is bro gonna call him Zajef the whole video? Glaive, I'm gonna throw you out a window.
How both games have slow power creep, which makes them viable for casual players. And on that point, sure, to some extent, he is right. Both Genshin and Wuthering Waves are slower in power creep compared to other gachas, and that does make it easier to step away from the game and come back later without feeling like all of your mains have turned into Honkai Star Rail characters. The whole narrative about Wuthering Waves is only for hardcore sweats is completely overblown. If you have ever heard that...
Very true. Can I be so... This is the reason why Wuthering Waves is not just for hardcore sweats, right? You can have an account that isn't like super giga heavily invested in. You do not need perfect echoes. You do not need perfect stats, okay? You don't need any of that. And you're able to still clear like basically all the content in the game. That's really how we judge this, right? We judge it by how hard is it to clear all the content. And in WuWa, it's actually not that bad. It's really not that bad. You don't need to heavily invest in every single support. You just need to like focus on your DPSs a little bit. Make sure they're good to go. Make sure they reach a threshold, they're good to go, and you'll be fine. And that's why it's like, it only caters to the sweatiest people. Not really. Just invest in your account just a little bit, and everything's totally fine. They clear Hecate? Okay, wait, hang on. Wait a minute. Listen. Okay, I concede the holograms. Okay, are considerably more sweaty than anything else any other gacha game puts out. Considerably. But to say that the game is only for those people is crazy. Does it make content that caters to more sweaty people at some points? Sure. But it doesn't, the whole game isn't centered around that. It's not fucking Dark Souls, right? It's not centered around that entirely. That's the difference and distinction. But the game offers a bit more difficulty to those who want it, and it's there. And that's why it's good, because it offers more if you want to take it.
It's straight into the garbage, because even free-to-play players can clear endgame content just fine. Unless, of course, you are Captain Cabinetz, who somehow struggles to clear tower adversity with an S5G, and in that case...
not survive the week. You will not survive the week. Oh my god.
Of course, you are straight into the garbage, because even free-to-play players can clear endgame content just fine. Unless, of course, you are Captain Cabinetz, who somehow struggles to clear tower adversity with an S5 GN. In that case, I regret to inform you that you are a lost cause. Thoughts and prayers. Joking aside, Captain Cabinetz still clears TOA with 30 stars perfection. Now, if we are
Yippee! Yay, I got praised! Yay, I got praised! Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
comparing this to Genshin, yeah, it is true that some of its launch units are still viable till this day. Xiangling, for example, was so cracked that for a while, the meta was literally pull characters that work well with Xiangling. No, seriously, it was a legitimate strategy. Even today, people manage to clear content with 4-star teams, though it takes significantly more effort, you know, logically. But the point stands, power creep is slow in both games.
You're likely still going to be able to clear stuff unless it's like heavily tailored towards a certain unit. And if you're not able to clear this one, it's just because none of what you have works against it.
Huh? Bro's just kind of saying word salad and saying words.
Right?
Then Zajiv solidifies his point by saying that even if you only play once in a while, your characters won't become obsolete unless the end game is tailored to a specific unit. And honestly, that's even more true in Wuthering Waves than in Genshin. At least in Wuthering Waves, you don't need to worry about Hoyover sneakily designing Spiral Abyss floors to conveniently push you into rolling for the latest limited 5-star. But hey, I digress. The main takeaway is that the power—
Would you guys say that in the Hazard Tower, adding the buff to Frazzle is pushing you to pick up like Phoebe? Or would you say because Spectra Rover also has access to Frazzle, it means it's fine? Would you say that that is sort of catering towards the banner character? But it's not necessary at all. Like, you could still do Hazard Tower with the characters that are resistant, like Camellia and Carlotta. You know what I mean? It's not like it's end of the world. Yo, what do you can ever stand? Thank you for the sub. Thank you for 3 months. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yes, no, there are free to play options. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be real. 2-8 gives me mixed feelings. Spectra Road made of it fine. The tower is easy enough. You don't need Peeb. The tower was out before Peeb launch. Yeah, but we all know why. We all know why. It's perfectly fine for Rover. I hope we the tower Shang Liao and Yinland only. Well, there we go. Yeah. So they have the buffs. So maybe in some way it kind of does incentivize even a tiny bit. I think it's unfair to say that it wouldn't. Like a tiny bit, it could be there for some people, but overall you don't need it, which is why it's okay and why it's totally fine. In my opinion, it's totally fine because you can clear it with basically like anyone. Not anyone, but pretty much, you know, whoever you have.
Power creep isn't a problem here, and there are plenty of other things to criticize, and don't worry, we're getting to those.
If you're someone who likes playing games for the story, if you're someone who likes playing game for exploration, both Genshin and WuWa are going to scratch that itch.
Here Zajiv argues that both Genshin and Wuthering Waves have great stories and exploration, and while that sounds nice and diplomatic, let's be honest, one of these games have actually been trying in the recent updates, and the other is still shoving unskippable monologues down your throat like it's your mother on Valentine's Day. Wuthering Waves 2.0 story was phenomenal. Strong character writing, emotional weight, and actual sense of stakes. I was fully immersed. And the best part, if you don't care, you can skip it. Revolutionary. I know. It's almost like developers understand that not everyone wants to sit.
You could be like, hey, Toma. You could be like, hey, Toma. That dude skips everything, bro. That dude skips literally everything. Bro skips old story. That's it. I even saw him skip Persona 3 Reloaded story. Bro skips everything. He's crazy. He's honestly a story terrorist. A story skipping terrorist at this point.
Through hours of cutscenes every time they log in. Meanwhile, in Genshin, no skip button, no way out. You're gonna listen to every second of that dialogue, whether you like it or not. And if you dare to click too fast, whoa there, buddy, slow down. You might just miss Paimon repeating the same thing that the NPC just said. Now let's talk exploration, and I'm going to be very clear about this. Wuthering Waves' movement system completely dominates Genshin. This isn't even a hot take. This is just a fact, or as Mr. Pokey liked to state it.
Fucking Pokey game is so dumb.
No war, just facts. In Wuthering Waves, you can grapple, double, triple, quadruple jump, air dash, fly. Do all of that with infinite stamina, and you can have them all for free. Meanwhile, here at Genshin,
free! Did you hear that? Flying for free! Sprinting for free! Oh,
Rationing stamina like it's a survival horror game, constantly debating whether climbing straight up a wall is worth the risk of slipping off and plummeting to your death.
It's just so unnecessary. Like, honestly, having stamina like that just, like, doesn't... I find it even in, like, WuWa. I find it in all these games that isn't, like... Unless it's platformer-based, where they really plan out, like, platformy kind of, like, routes for, like, climbing up things. It's pointless having, like, a stamina bar. I do. Unless, like, you actually want to incorporate platformer mechanics into the things that you're climbing that make it more interesting to, like, climb up tall spaces, to climb up higher. I honestly think you should get rid of, like, stamina for climbing. I mean, that's my hot take. Make the climbing, like, actually engaging and kind of platformy and fun. Otherwise, just give us all stamina. That's it.
Making specific team comps for exploration, filled with characters you probably don't like, and farming specifically for stamina foods, for outside of combat, by the way, and that's just the baseline game.
Yeah, who the fuck uses stamina foods out of combat? That's insane.
We haven't even gotten to the part where Genshin has the audacity to monetize exploration, because fun fact, if you actually want to enjoy exploring in Genshin, you better be ready to drop some cash. Do you want to explore like one of the cool kids in Genshin Impact? You want to fly? You want to ride a motorcycle everywhere? You want to go faster? Oh my god, Mavuika solves all of those problems for only $300. Yeah, that's right.
300 smackaroos and you two could be an owner of the woman in latex.
Best exploration character they've ever released? Great. Oh, and by the way, I'd like to note that one Mavuika isn't enough. To actually enjoy exploration and Genshin Impact with Mavuika, you need 7 copies of her. That's right, because for 1 copy, you can just ride it a little bit and then you turn to the normal version again. And you're like, oh, there's not enough. Like, why is it only like a little bit? There's a separate stamina on it and everything.
That's what I say when I look at men's peepees. Why is there only a little bit? Where's the rest of it, man? Where's the rest of it? What the fuck?
And outside of the region, the stamina is even shorter. Now let's take a look at the C6 of this unit. Oh my god, it refills your energy if you're outside of combat. Why does it have to be in a C6 version? Yahweh knows exactly how to get these money.
It's so cringe, bro. It's so cringe. I hate how Genshin does this. They do this in Honkai Star Rail too. Honkai Star Rail has the problem where like your E1s are pretty like necessary for their kits to be quote unquote complete. Like a lot of the times you have to debate, do I want to pull for a light cone or do I get that E1? Sometimes you want that E1 and light cone. It's like, what are we doing? And what are we doing in these games? Like, character kits should be complete when you get them. And constellations or sequences, whatever it is, WuWa 2 really should just be glorified stat bonuses and that's it. Not things that make the kit work. It should be glorified stat bonuses. That's it. All it should be. And I will say that forever.
From these plebs, because people like Bran Online will spend all of this money for this character even though he criticizes it. Oh my god, I hate that Genshin Impact does this predatory services. Oh, but I'm gonna C6 the next unit. What?
Bro's such a... I think Bran is not really... Glaive really likes going into Bran every video. I don't think Bran is that bad at all. I just think he's a little bit hypocritical in the way that he approaches Genshin Impact. I think overall he's kind of... He tries to be real and fair to some degree, but then he will just go back and keep playing the game he thinks needs to be improved. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, we see, but he's not like the worst. But like, yeah, it's pretty, it's sus, it's sus.
What? 7 copies of Mavuika goes up to $2,100.
But dupes are basically stat boosts though. They just say it in fancier words. Okay. I want to try and give an example of a Genshin constellations that make it so... I want to say Farina's constellations, her early ones, absolutely make her kit work better. Same thing with Nuvalet. Makes his kit just like... It feels like it works like it should do when you get their constellations. It doesn't feel like a stat bonus. It feels like, oh, now you have to have... Now it like essentially means you don't have to have certain characters in your team. Like if you get like Nuvalet's like C1 or C2, I can't remember what it is, suddenly you can have like 2 Hydro characters in your team. right? You don't have to have like one of every type. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's things like that, like a bigger quality of life that make it, it's not really a stat upgrade. It just kind of makes his kit function easier, or you could use more people or like teams, more options for team building too. Like that's really what I mean.
Make exploration tolerable. But sure, Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact have equally good exploration, of course. You're delusional. And anyways, where are the Genshin content creators in all of this? Silent. They just let it happen. No one talks about how outright predatory this is. And even if they do, they just C6 the character when the update drops. Imagine any other game telling you, hey, this is the basic act of playing feel miserable on purpose, but if you give us $2,000, we can fix that for you. People would riot. But because this is Genshin, no one's talking about it. This is sad.
I mean, I talk about this every time I talk about WuWa, but the biggest reason why I didn't end up getting that hooked on WuWa is because the devs were making it very clear the ways in which it wanted to be similar to Genshin, and the ways in which it wanted to be similar to Genshin, and the ways in which it wanted to be similar to Genshin were things about Genshin I don't like.
So let me get this straight. Zajiv doesn't play Wuthering Waves.
Huh? Zajev doesn't play Wuthering Waves because it does stuff that's too similar to Genshin. Because it does stuff that's too similar to Genshin that he doesn't like. Yet he plays Genshin every day, even though it does things he doesn't like. Does that mean there are things that Genshin does that he likes a lot? That must mean that he believes there are things in Genshin he likes a lot that outweigh the things that he doesn't like. And in WuWa, there isn't enough good stuff.
Waves because it's similar to Genshin, a game he plays. That is quite literally circular logic. That's like saying, I don't eat pizza because it reminds me of pizza. What does that even mean? If Genshin is tolerable despite those flaws, why is Wuthering Waves unplayable for having some of the same mechanics?
He just must not like the other stuff about WuWa. His need is already met by Genshin. He doesn't need WuWa. Maybe this is something in WuWa he just doesn't vibe with overall. I don't know.
Let's not even forget that Wuthering Waves doesn't...
He likes to mix colors. Bro likes to finger paint in Genshin. I mixed the blue with the red one. Yeah, and then I used the green to mix them all together and swirl them together, yeah? I vaporize, and then I get the arrow, and then I use that one. And then I press the silly buttons.
Better. Of course, in some aspects, they are inspired by Genshin Impact, but oh my god, Wuthering Waves does it way better. Very, very easy comparison is the weapon banner. How do you look at Genshin's weapon banner and say, oh, it's okay, I don't mind losing $10,000 on it? Oh, Wuthering Waves' weapon system, when you get the weapon, you don't feel as good because it's guaranteed. Yeah, man, I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, seek help. You feel me? Seek help.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Get some help.
Get some help.
A lot of the decisions they made when it came to like changes from CBT2 to live and quote unquote bug fixes that are which is stuff that was like changed, not because it worked in a way that was different that was described, but because it worked in a way that was different than they intended, which is the sort of stuff that like they can call it a bug fix and it can be considered a bug fix, but in practice it's a change in mechanics, right?
Are we talking about a video game or getting a...
Huh? What's he saying? Wait, I want to try to actually understand what he's saying.
Help. You feel me? Seek help.
Wait, what's he actually saying?
Stop it. Get some help.
Like a lot of the decisions they made when it came to like changes from CBT2 to live and quote unquote bug fixes that are which is stuff that was like changed, not because it worked in a way that was different that was described, but because it worked in a way that was different than they intended, which is a...
So he's saying between the CBT and the game going live, there were bug fixes that the devs claimed were bug fixes, but Zajev believes it wasn't really a bug fix. It's just unintended mechanics. Huh?
Sort of stuff that like they can call it a bug fix and it can be considered a bug fix, but in practice it's a change in mechanics, right?
Okay, what kind of mechanics? What was changed between CBT2 and live? What was changed between CBT2 and live? Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. Yo, bro, I got some money for you, bro. For the fend that pulled up this morning. You know what I mean? Thank you for the delivery, bro. I appreciate it. I got your money. You know, just DM me. I'll send that shit to you right away, bro. I'll send that shit to you right away. Choo choo. Thank you for the raid train. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. His only complaint is the outro buff going away. He's dumb. Oh, I see. I see. Ethan, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. Go rest up. Go do your shit. Have a good time. Have a good day. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hi, Raiders. We're currently watching Zajeff's take. We're watching the Glaive Keo video. I'm watching Zajeff's take on all this. In CBT, there was element reactions. Now you have intro and outro. Oh, I see. Oh, so he likes the color mixing. So he likes the Genshin finger painting of colors. I mix the red with the blue, and then we get the vaporize, and then we got the arrow, and then we use that too. Like that's what we're doing here, right? He likes it. He likes it. Okay, interesting. Let's carry on.
Right?
Are we talking about a video game or getting a degree in engineering? I thought the topic was whether a game is fun, not a deep dive into patch.
I feel like talking to theory crafters is probably the most painful discussions you could ever have. Like, can you imagine theory crafters in a normal conversation? Oh my god. Low-key, that must be insufferable. like, oh my god. Like, I'm good. They try and min-max everything in their life. I'm good. I'm so good.
Notes like we're debugging a software release, and then he brings up the changes from beta to live servers and bug fixes, and then saying that it's a problem or he doesn't like it. First of all, what changes? What bug fixes? If that is the standard, why is Genshin still playable to you after years of questionable balance patches and neglected mechanics? I don't remember anyone holding Hoyoverse to that standard when they—
Wait, what is this? You sent me a link. I must open it. What is this? Wuthering Waves Concerto System CBT. Wait, this was it? This was it? Wait, what the fuck? Error. Oh, so they... Oh, it was the elemental system. Oh, I see. Yeah, they scrapped that, huh? They scrapped that,
They let data rot in irrelevance, or when they are still to this day have geo characters interacting with Dendro in literally no way. Anyone remember Eula, by the way? Where is that character? It just sounds like a convenient excuse, because if we're talking objective changes, Wuthering Waves actively improves with every single update. Meanwhile, Genshin's biggest innovations are the new daily commission dialogue and loading screen tip explaining stamina consumption. Oh, hey, but sure, let's pretend Wuthering Waves is the one failing here.
Like, that made it clear to me that they were leaning more towards casual friendly gameplay. The only reason why I was interested in WuWa to begin with was the ways in which it was less casual oriented than Genshin. But they realized that being more casual friendly is more profitable. It's a good decision.
I mean, like, true. If you make a game too hardcore, you are completely limiting your player base, right? And you also have to take in consideration, right? A game like Wuthering Waves, if you want to make it harder, you want to make it sweatier, you have to keep in mind a lot of people play this game on mobile, right? A lot of people play this game on mobile, and if it requires you to like dodge a lot, to use all your abilities and time things right, that's really hard to do on mobile properly. As you like connect a controller or something, it's actually pretty hard to do. And if you can't grab that mobile audience, if they don't like it, if it doesn't work, then you're gonna lose out on a shit ton of money. So he's not entirely wrong in saying this, right? Because it really is about the mobile market you have to consider. WuWa is definitely a game you want to be playing on console or PC. But the PC market is not huge. Well, it's big, but compared to mobile, it's very different. Right? It's very different. It's very different. So you do have to keep that in mind this entire time, right? You have to keep that in mind.
Like, it's gonna make them more money. It's a smart thing for them to do, but it still makes me a little sad.
And now Zajiv said that he liked Wuthering Waves or had interest in Wuthering Waves because it was less casual than Genshin. But now he's complaining that it's becoming too casual, which is weird because even in its most casual state, Wuthering Waves is still sweatier than Genshin has ever been. Let's put this into perspective. Genshin Spiral Abyss, its only real endgame. Oh wait, I misspoke. The only endgame for years. It's just Spiral Abyss. Meanwhile, Wuthering Waves gives you hologram bosses, Tower of Adversity, Whimpering Waste. Oh my god, that new endgame. What? And the Elusive Realms, each of which demands...
Bro, Whimpering Waste. I cannot think the WuWa. I cannot think of a worse name. I actually cannot think of a worse name for a game mode. Who decided to call it Whimpering? Like, who? Multiple people had to sit in a boardroom and like approve that name, by the way. Multiple people had to go, I like that. That sounds good. That feels good. Oh my god. That, like, who? Multiple people had to approve that.
way more effort and strategy than make sure you kill the Hydro Abyss Mage before the timer runs out. Ooh, you gotta use the light blue element to take off the blue color. What if you're colorblind? Anyways, there is an option for you to play Elusive Realm at 100 HP. If an enemy even thinks about attacking, you're gone. One straight AoE, one sneeze from the enemy.
I've never done that. I've never done 100 HP Elusive Realm. I've never done that. I probably should at some point.
Immediately,
when they bring back Elusive Realm, it's the best game mode. Why do they? I need them to make Elusive Realm permanent. I'll be real. I'll make me so much happier.
LOL Shinya's YouTube channel.
Oh.
I can't move. I can't do anything. I can't do anything.
So when people say that Wuthering...
Wait, did he have mad skill issue? Wait, did bro have mad skill issue?
He's from the enemy, and immediately you are LOL Shinya's YouTube channel.
I can't move. I can't do anything. I can't.
So when people say that Wuthering Waves is too casual now, what does that even mean? Because it sure as hell isn't Genshin casual.
Games that have incentives for you to log in every day, to me, are more fun if they also have actual things to do every day outside of those incentives. And echo grinding can be incredibly fun, but the fact that it's gated behind daily resources makes it significantly less fun.
And then Zajiv claims that Wuthering Waves...
Ooh, what? So you can't like level them infinitely? Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's trying to say? Because it's locked behind the fact you still need to like level the echo. What does he mean? I want to. Does anyone know what he means by that? Because you can still farm echoes at will. He got hit by a debuff that removes your dodge. Oh, I see. I see.
Does not give players enough reason to log in daily. Fascinating, because if that's the problem in Wuthering Waves, then what exactly is Genshin's excuse? If anything, Genshin have mastered the art of making daily log.
Like in Genshin Impact, you have to wait for a Thursday evening at 9:02 p.m. in order to get your like talent materials for your bloody Malvika. So what do we mean? Why are we complaining about farming and echo grinding? When in Genshin, you literally have to wait for 4 minutes and 33 seconds past 5 p.m. on a Tuesday. Like, what are we doing? Like, are we good? I think someone is to give their head a wobble. I'll be honest. Like, what are we saying? What?
Logins feel like a punishment. You log in for a fetch quest that a toddler could complete, spend some resin, and then realize, oh wait, I still have nothing to do. At least in Wuthering Waves, the game respects your time. You can farm echoes whenever you want instead of being told, oops, you hit your resin cap. I guess you're done for today.
Do you play more than one character in co-op yet? Or are you still only one character? Only one character? Yeah. That's another one of the issues, because the combat in WuWa is fun because of the swaps. Not being able to swap in WuWa is disappointing. It's sad.
And then there's this co-op complaint. He doesn't like it that players only get one character each. Hey Zajiv, if that's your issue, you can ask for it in the feedback survey. Kuro Games actually listens to its players, unlike Genshin devs who
unlike Genshin Impact. Unlike Genshin Impact. Instead, Genshin just makes like weird forms they put on the website that they don't announce and say, hey, you should go fill this in. That's what Genshin does. That's what Genshin does. Yeah, like...
famously ignore every single complaint unless it's about Zhongli or New Valette. Wait, do you see a pattern here? Oh, they only listen when money is involved. They only listen when they're afraid of getting sued. In Wuthering Waves...
You know what? I think Genshin should be a bit... If they're afraid of losing money, right? Because we all know that this year, well, the year just gone, 2024... For the first time ever, Hoyoverse didn't make 1 billion in revenue. They went from 1.6 billion a year that they made to under 1 billion for the first time. Oh, sorry, my multi-billion-dollar company, but they made less than a billion. That's a significant, huge decrease from the prior years, right? So they're thinking, we've put out all these new IPs. We've got Hawkeye Star Rail, we've got Zelda Zone Zero, we have Genshin Impact. And they're not generating more revenue. In fact, we're actually like not making as much money as we used to, even with new IPs. So you just know that they're all there in their little like boardrooms talking to each other, thinking, how can we get the most money out of all these retards that play our games? Think of all the children that we can manipulate for money. What can we do? I know what we'll do. We'll put Malvika and her best supported Lolly on the same banner. That's how we make our money. Like, that's what they're doing, right? Like, you know, they're just exactly that in Chinese. Just someone translate that in Chinese. That's exactly what they're doing in the boardrooms right now. Like, that's exactly what they're doing.
His players ask for better movement, improved UI, more meaningful co-op, and guess what? Kuro is actually implementing those things. Meanwhile, Genshin fans have been—
Real voice. Nah, okay, don't do me dirty like that, bro. Don't do me dirty. Oh yeah, let's not forget the Teletubby collaboration with Tears of Themis. This game is made, the whole company is made for children. It's made for kids. It's made for kids. It's made for kids.
begging for the loadout system for years, and they got something not even remotely close to that.
I remember there were people being like, yeah, but then it would be too easy. But like, just make the enemies tankier accordingly. If allowing multiple characters means you're gonna end up doing like 5 times more damage in co-op, then make the enemies 5 times tankier, and that's fixed.
Or you know what? Yeah, you are not allowed to have fun in co-op because Dawei will fire.
Did he smile at the end of that? Wait, this is meme material. There we go. What am I doing? Why do I do this to myself?
Or you know what? Yeah, you are not allowed to have fun in co-op because Dawei would fire you. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do here, man. And now his grand solution to improving co-op: make enemies tankier to balance difficulty. Wait. Didn't we all agree that bullet sponge enemies are awful in Genshin? We have spent years complaining about bosses with bloated HP bars who turn every fight into a time-wasting slog. But now that we're talking about Wuthering Waves, suddenly that's the answer? So riddle me this, Batman. You don't like Wuthering Waves because it copies Genshin in the ways you dislike, but your brilliant solution is to copy one of Genshin's worst mechanics. Amazing game design, Zajiv. Just inflate the HP bar. Problem solved.
Thank you, Asin. Wait, what anime is this? Wait, low-key, what anime is this? Low-key, wait, why is this guy kind of like has aura? Why does this dude kind of have aura? ReZero? Wait, he looks kind of fucking cool.
I remember there were people being like,
oh no, what are you?
Who needs engaging enemy AI or actual mechanical depth when you can just drag fights out for 5 extra minutes? This is exactly the kind of bad fate critique that makes zero sense. If Genshin was doing co-op so well, why do so many fights feel like a single player experience with extra steps? Maybe instead of trying to Frankenstein Genshin's worst mechanics into Wuthering Waves, we should recognize that Kuro Games is actually trying to innovate, and that's exactly why people are enjoying it. Alright, let's lay this out. Zajiv doesn't like Wuthering Waves because it's similar to Genshin in the way he dislikes, yet he plays Genshin. If the mechanics are that unbearable, why is one game tolerable and the other unplayable?
Because I guess WuWa just ain't up to scratch for him, huh? I guess it just ain't up to scratch for him, and I think it's kind of a shame because they're adding a lot more into the mechanics of the game itself. I think the fact that Wuthering Waves has implemented the negative effect statuses goes to show that they are willing to look at their game, look at the mechanic, look at the way the characters fight and interact, everything like that, and add to it to make it a better experience overall. And I think that's cool. I think the negative effect statuses is the first step in that road. But yeah, I think WuWa does care and it wants to make their combat better as the game progresses. I think that's great.
And then he complains about Wuthering Waves is too casual, but it's objectively harder than Genshin. You cannot tell me that a game with hologram bosses, elusive realms, and TOA, and whimpering waste is too casual, while praising Genshin, when you can boom color mix in your way out of 90% of the game and call it combat. And there's the daily login contradiction. He wants incentives to log in, but he also doesn't want daily gated content. So which is it? Because last I checked, forcing players to log in daily with resin caps and time gated events isn't a feature, it's a leash. You're a dog to Dawei. Wuthering Waves actually respects your player's time, and now that's a problem. Oh, and let's not forget co-op. He doesn't find it fun, but his solutions make no sense. His big idea to fix co-op is make enemies tankier, because we all know everyone loves a bullet sponge. He doesn't like them.
We love HP sponges, man. We love HP sponges. Though saying that, I do think overall making co-op bosses a little bit harder by having slightly more HP isn't a bad thing overall. But wouldn't it be so cool if there were a couple more interesting, better mechanics? Not better, but added mechanics that significantly meant that you had to use like your friend to like mitigate. Kind of like, you know, like in WoW, you have to, there's certain things you have to do as a team. Otherwise, if you don't, you kind of like wipe. Like if in co-op, there was a mode where like you had to like do shit in the world so that you don't wipe and you can clear the boss. Something like that. Like something like that would be, you don't have to change the mechanics of the boss itself. Just add things that you have to like check in order to carry on with the fight. That'd be kind of interesting. No introverts would disagree. Well, they wouldn't do co-op in the first place. Then they wouldn't do co-op in the first place, and that's fine. They just won't do it.
But apparently, Wuthering Waves needs them. That's like saying, man, I hate traffic, so let's add more stoplights. At the end of the day, Zajiv's reasons not to play Wuthering Waves make no sense. It's totally fine if he doesn't like the game. Personal preference exists. But when your entire argument is a tangled mess of contradictions, it stops being a critique and it starts sounding like a bad faith nitpicking. If you're playing Genshin, you should at least acknowledge its massive issues. Because right now, a game like Wuthering Waves is offering a better experience for $0. And yet people are bending over backwards to defend a system that actively preys on them. But hey, if you'd rather glide instead of fly, spend $2,000 just to enjoy exploring.
Genshin fans that hate WuWa are gonna hear that for the end of time. Like you could just go flying for free to them and then they'll like piss and shit their pants. You know what I mean? Like it must be real hard to be a Genshin fan in this day and age. It must be real hard because all you have to do is go flying for free and they lose their shit.
And play the same content loop for years and years and years. Who am I to stop you?
Another banger Glaive video. Oh my god, Tech Toad, shut up! Another banger Glaive video. Also, always a pleasure to watch a Glaive video. Make sure you go and like, comment, and subscribe, okay, to Glaive. And then if you like this video and like my little additions to this, also subscribe if you feel bad for me because Glaive bullied me. Okay, because Glaive did in fact bully me, and for that reason, you should subscribe to me as well. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all. I'll see you on, oh, I'm live every day on Twitch. Twitch.tv, Cabinetz, link is in the pinned comment. Come along, say hi. I appreciate you. We're nice, I promise. My chat is very nice. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.